So is the difference between an indicator and a strategy is that an indicator will just show you information, but a strategy is about when you're going to buy and sell?
Exactly. So here, if you wanted to get a sense of the performance, like how well would I do if I had a $5,000 account and I was taking these buy and sell signals on the strategy, how well would I do? If you only had the indicator, you'd have to plot it by hand and calculate it by hand. But with a strategy backtester, it's going to give you an idea here of all the trades that were taken for this particular strategy.
Hmm.
So I can actually go and take a look at all the different trades that exist on the chart and examine it and get a better idea of, hey, this is not only the buy and sell signals, but this is the performance I might have looking at past data.
Which is an important distinguishment between the two because there's a lot of indicators on TradingView that have buy and sell labels on them, but they're not actual strategies, so you can't tell what their actual performance is. In some cases, you might have an indicator that also tells you like overbought and oversold zones, which you might consider those to be good places to sell or good places to buy. But without that historical performance and robustness of a historical trading strategy, it's really difficult to tell if that's going to do well in the future. So the indicators alone oftentimes can be helpful to understand a trend or understand how to measure a particular asset in an effective way. But the deeper knowledge about the history of how this strategy would actually work has to be done with the strategy itself. So sometimes users will run into is they'll find an indicator that they really like in TradingView, but there's no accompanying version of that that's been written as a strategy. And so sometimes they have to do the custom work themselves or wait for the author of that indicator to make a strategy version of it.
Can you combine an indicator with a different strategy?
It depends. It depends what you mean by combine. Technically speaking, if you have the code for a strategy and the code for an indicator, yes, but that's beyond the scope of what we'll go over today. If you're saying you're adding it to the chart and you sort of want to link them together, there are certain strategies that are built that way, that are built in such a way that you can actually pass the indicator value to the strategy.
It's also really rare. I've seen some like backtest adapters that will take the outputs from an indicator and use them as an input to how the strategy should behave.